Okay, in the last lesson, what we did was we'd start working with the PBR textures that we downloaded from textures.com, and we applied on this plane here. So it's as you can see, it's a really nice way of PBR is just brilliant for low poly objects. We downloaded the texture and we applied here the diffuse. Remember that I had the diffuse texture here, the roughness, and we had the normal map as well, and we had an ambient map. Okay, I'm not going to throw this again, so please have a look at the video if you haven't done this, the previous video. What we're going to do today, we're going to create a new object. Exactly, we're going to go through the same things we did with the other one, but now we're going to learn how to bake from a high poly to a low poly. So we're going to create a higher poly object. I'm just going to apply the textures in the same way we did with the other one, a previous video, and then we're going to get the information from the high poly and bake, because in Blender you can also create PBR textures. You bake. That's what we call baking. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a grid, and my grid here 10 by 10 subdivisions is fine. Let me go in there. There you go. I'm going to my edit mode, and I'm going to select, select all, and select, check the select. Yeah, that would do. Okay, sorry, I wanted to select the faces. Select, check the select, so we create kind of a checker like that. Yeah, that's it. I just want to do it quicker, so I'm going to press I for insert, and I am inserting a little bit. There you go. And then I'm going to extrude a tiny bit. There you go. And scale maybe. So what that happens. I don't want to that. So because I'm scaling based on where my cursor is, and I don't want that. I want to scale in individual faces. So I want to get the information of each individual face and then scale based on that. So undo that, and you come up here and you have to say individual origins. So now it will scale based on each individual origin. So I've got something like that. Okay, that's looking nice. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more detail in these other ones just to make it more high poly. Sorry guys, there you go. Trying to be quick here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I've got these ones, and I'm going to do something slightly different with these ones. I don't know. Insert, and I don't know, insert again. Yeah, like this. And then extrude, and then scale. Right, okay. That's it, done. So it looks quite, it looks quite nice. So if you, I don't know if you remember how we see how many polygons we have, or faces. You come up here and click statistics. So this has got 1,110 faces, which is quite a lot if you think about it. This is going to be a small part of my game. So what we're going to do is get the information from here and bake into a new object, which is going to be a low poly. So I'm going to call this grid my high poly. Right. And I'm going to texture it. I'm going to apply a texture the same way we did in the previous exercise of PBR. So I'm going to call it high poly texture, You can call it whatever you like. I'm just trying to make it clear for the exercise. And I'm going to, before I do this, I want to have a look at my UVs. Actually, I'm going to lay down new UVs. Going back to object mode. And there you go. This is not going to, it's not really laid out, the UVs. So it is laid out, but it's not in the right proportions. And this will cause a little bit of distortion, so I just want to redo that. So I'm going to do smart one. We don't need to add seams here, it's just a plane. So I'm just going to do, I don't know, I'm just going to go with the default to see what happens. Select all and smart. Okay. Yeah, that is much better because now you reduce the it made the distances more a little bit more spread out, so it should receive the textures nicely. Okay, so here I have my texture, and I'm going to do just like the previous exercise. I'm going to add image texture, and I can just duplicate, can I? Shift D. I think for this one it's going to be a meta, so I have an Albedo Texture is going to be that one. That's going to be the Metalness, which we didn't have in the other one because we were doing bricks. So this one's going to have metal, and this is going to be roughness, and this is going to be the normal. That's it. I'm going to work with this one. So I'm not putting ambient occlusion right now. It's just for the purpose of this exercise. So I want to be a bit faster. So this one, I'm going to open. I have here my textures here. I see if I can upload that. I think that is going to be available in Canvas for you. So it's a steel rough. Albedo is the color. Okay. So I'm going to add the color. Yeah. Let me just bring the light. I'm going to bring the light closer so you can see how the light affects this. And I'm also going to change the light to an area light. And I'm just going to make it like 200. Change here a little bit. And the area light is kind of, you can decide how large the area light is. It's kind of a rectangle. I'm using the rectangle. Bring it down there. There you go. I think 50. Right, okay. Yeah, so it's just you can see. Okay, so let's go back to our one. So this one is going to be the Metalness metallic. It's metallic texture. Many times you will see that's called Metalness, so just be aware of that. So this, you can see the difference already. Yeah, so, and then now we're going to add the roughness to see how rough this metal is. That's how we're doing. So I'm going to open here in my PBR texturing and roughness. And I'm going to connect to my roughness. Okay. You can see here some of the parts are more shiny, the others are not. Mind you, I have to put here there's a non-color. I have to tell Blender this is a non-color one. Oh, that's now I'm getting it. Yeah, and the metallic texture is also non-color. Okay, so you can see that's looking good. And I'm going to add the normal map is just a little bit of rough kind of bumpiness to it, so I just give that bumpiness feel. Normal, and again I have to say it's a non-color, And because it's normal, we can't connect directly. We have to add a normal map. Normal map. And then I collect the color to the color and the normal to my normal. Hope you can see the video here. And then I can kind of decide the strength. I'm going to put like 0.7 is fine. That's it. Finish my object. I'm going to save this. Save as. And I'm going to say baking exercise 01. Okay. I'm just saving, so in case I crash, I have it again. When we bake, it's always good always to keep saving. So now what I'm going to do, I have this beautiful object here. I don't want to put that in my game because it's going to be a bit high poly. So I can now create, let's go back to layout. I'm going to create a plane, and I use it to get the information from this high poly to a low poly. So let's go here and create add a plane. And I'm going to make slightly, just slightly bigger, a little bit only, and I'm going to move it down slightly so it's not overlapping. Okay, and it's called plane, so I'm going to call that low poly. Low poly. Okay, so I have a high poly, low poly. I'm going to give again as well. I'm going to give a texture to my low poly object. So let me just turn this off for now. I'm going to material, low poly material calling. Okay. And let's put a color, dark color. Okay, I've got my material. I don't need to worry about UV because the plane is already coming with the UV. No need to change. Go to my shading, and this is my material that I create. So now I'm going to create 3 textures, 4 textures. So I'm going to create the same texture, but first one I want to create is my normal. So I'm going to come here, image texture. I'm going to do the same way as I did before. So this one, Shift D. I'll do with those later, so I don't need to create them again. And Shift D. Okay, but now I'm going to focus on this one. So this one, I'm not opening a texture. I'm going to create a new texture. So I create a new, and I call it low poly normal. Okay, I click OK. So it's going to be a normal texture. Right, no color again. See if I can squeeze everything inside this video. Here I have my UV, but I also want to put my UV editor here at the top. Okay, because I can see the menu right there. Let's have a look what the normal texture is going to do. Bring it back on my high poly. Let's save this, Control S to save. I select my high poly, select my low poly. So high poly first, low poly after. Select the texture you are going to bake, which is the low poly normal. Will make sense in a minute. What's baking? What we need to do here, you need to go to your render settings, and you cannot bake using Eve render engine. You have to go to cycle. So you have to change this to cycle. So then you will be able to see this option here, bake down there, bake. Right? So let me go to bake. So I have to tell Blender what I'm going to bake. I'm going to bake my normal texture. So that means I'm going to get the information of this. You see all these bumps here from the high poly, and I'm going to create just a texture for my normal map. I don't want any lighting information. So first of all, I need to put here that I want to put normal. So I'm baking the normal, right? And make sure you have that one selected, the high poly first, second, and then you select the texture where you're going to bake. you're gonna see here, you want to see on this bit, you want to see your low polynomial. And I'm gonna do the same here, low polynomial. Okay, at the moment it's black because there's nothing there, we haven't baked anything yet. So okay, and then make sure you click, you have that texture selected, select to active. We might need to put the cage here. We don't need to click the cage, but we need to say, or what level extrusion. So I think I'm going to put 0.1. I'm not sure. I have to test it. So, because I need to say what is the extrusion, the distance that I'm baking. Let's try that. And we're going to just bake. It's baking here. It's actually outside the video, guys. You should be able to see the information down here. Sorry, it's a bit outside the video. You can see right at the bottom there the progress of your baking. My computer is a little bit slow, sorry, but it's baking. 73, 5%. There you go. We're going to have that soon. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. It looks lovely. If you don't come up with an image like that, you might need to change those settings here on the right. So here you go. That's my baking texture that has the information just of all these polygons, all the faces that have been extruded. So, mind you, when you bake textures, you need to save. Don't forget to save. Save as. And I'm going to save. Where am I saving my stuff? Okay, I'm going to save it here. Make sure you keep organized. Don't do like me. So, low polynomial. Save. That is done. Right. Second texture. I haven't, just for you to see what it looks like. I turn off my high poly now, and I'm going to create a normal map here because I need to connect. So normal. Normal map. And I connect here the color, and I go to my normal. Yay! There you go. So you see, now I only have a plane, but I have the normal information exactly from my high poly. It's going to look pretty much the same, both textures, just remove this here, both objects, okay? So this is what we do for games. We get a high poly and you make a really low poly and bake the textures. This is really good. So next one, we're gonna, let's do the color, shall we? Let's do the color. Oh no, let's do the roughness. Let's do the roughness. So this is going to be my roughness. So I need to create a new texture, and I called low poly roughness. Okay. Bring back my high poly. Select the top, which is the high poly. Select the low poly, and then select the texture. Come here to bake, and now decide. So this is going to be my roughness. Okay. So then bake. Right. Okay. I thought I did that. Hold on a minute. What did I do? Oh no, I didn't actually put it there. So sorry. Low poly roughness. I think I didn't put okay. Oh, now yeah, that's fine. So here I want to see my low poly roughness, which I haven't done yet, but it's black. Okay, let's do it now. Select that and bake. And it's baking here, guys, in my video. See if I can squeeze in. Yes, you can see here at the bottom now. So it's baking. It is a bit slow, so sorry about that. It's well worth it. because it will save you a lot of time on your game and you make your game very efficient, and that's the way to do it. There you go, that's our roughness, and I'm going to save as low poly roughness, save image. All right, and then I'm going to do it that later. And the next one I'm going to do is my metal texture. So I'm going to create here, and I say low poly metallic. Okay, okay. And I've already got those two selected. Select this, and I come to here, Blender, until I want I think it's the glossy, guys. I don't want any indirect light. I don't want the lighting information. I think it's the glossy. That's the thing, they should call metal, but I think that's what it is. The glossy one. So, bake. I should do the video quicker, but I don't want to cut the video. We're nearly there. We're nearly finished. So we have one more texture to render, and that will do. I love this bit. Look how beautiful that roughness is. Roughness texture. I could add it to this video, but it didn't work. Right, okay. I'll have a look at that and I'll let you know. So leave that one for now. And let's do the color one, shall we? That's one. I probably need to change the settings here in order to get the right metal parts and stuff. I will need to double check that and let you know. Let's do the color one. So I'm going to call it diffuse. We are looking for the diffuse color, right? Which we'll call then albedo. So diffuse low poly. Is it low poly diffuse, isn't it? That I'm calling low poly diffuse. Okay. So now I come here and I put the diffuse texture. There you go. Remember, I don't want, you could potentially, depending on the game you are, you actually can bake the lighting on it. Yeah. In some areas you might just need to bake lighting if there is no change of light in your game. So then, yeah, you could do that. It looks a lot more realistic. And I'm going to select this, save it, and bake. I need to check this one. While this is doing, I'm just checking something else. I think actually my metallic, it's white because it just says all metal. It's all glossy. We shall see. 62%, guys, so we're almost there. All right, and 90%. There you go. That is our diffuse. And we're going to save. Save. I don't remember if I saved the... I'm going to save the metallics as well, just in case it's just white, but I'm going to save as low poly metallic, and roughness I think I did save. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put it there. Just turn off my low poly now. So high poly, low poly. Let's have a look at the metallic. No, that's definitely not working. The metallic one is not. It's completely wrong, that one. I will check what it is. Okay. So we need to do a lot of adjustments, or you can also change the settings of your normals. Yeah, it looks a little bit flat still, but it depends how you're going to use it. Yeah, so if you have a lot of distance for your if you have a lot of distance in your extrusion, and then you might need to do something different. Okay, so that's it. That is our low poly. It's only one plane. Yeah, let me just add this light here a little bit more, 100. There you go. If I come here, my render, 600 by 400, just for you to see the results. I mean, you can always add height map and all that, but that's going to be for another time. There you go. Let me just render this for you to see. F12. And that is our low poly object. Okay, so that's our low poly and slot 1. I'm just rendering this bit. And I'm gonna, in slot 2, I'm gonna bring the high poly and I'm gonna turn off the low poly, and I'm going to render F12. This is our high poly, guys. Look at the difference. Not much. So this is our high poly object, over 1,000 faces, and this is our low poly. High poly, low poly, the same. Yeah, fantastic. So excellent, guys. So there you go. Now you know how to transform your high poly into a low poly and make it look exactly the same. Thank you. We're going to be doing this with other things, with other objects, and also characters and stuff. Okay, that's all for this video. See you in the next video.